In today's Leeds news, Jack Harrison latest, Leeds on ITV, goalkeeper link with Spanish reports, Charlie Crew loan reports, Turgeman could move elsewhere, Struijk interest and Latte Lath rumoured details. Morning folks, Jer here at The View with your daily news for Wednesday morning the 8th of January. Hope you're having a good week so far. We will have a match day review for the Harrogate Town game tomorrow night with Andrew Stats Dalton. Won't be anything tonight in terms of a live stream. We did speak to James Marshman yesterday on the channel around Leeds' potential January moves and thoughts on the season so far. You can check that out at the end of the video if you want to, but we'll start off today because there's a bit of news floating around and clarifying a couple of moves and giving you some detail to make up your own mind on other rumours that are floating around, but there is some rumour mill detail towards the end of the video. We'll start off with the Jack Harrison situation and to clarify this for anyone that may be in any doubt, but reports came out yesterday that Jack Harrison may be returning to Leeds United as Everton have made a move for a permanent signing of Aston Villa winger Jayden Philligan. As per Graham Smith in the Yorkshire Evening Post, he states that there is no recall clause in Jack Harrison's deal, and in order for the player to come back to Leeds, Everton, Jack Harrison and Leeds United would all have to agree to cancelling the deal. Harrison has no interest in coming back to the Championship, Leeds have no interest in bringing Harrison back, and it means that deal, as the Yorkshire Evening Post have put it, any chance of Jack Harrison returning to Leeds United are slim to none. As I say, there's no recall clause in the deal, so Leeds can't bring him back. The player has to either want to cancel his deal and Leeds have to agree to that, which is seen as extremely unlikely. And despite some of the noise around apparent in the know people in social media, the rumours around Jack Harrison returning to Leeds United are said to not be true, and the player won't be coming back to Leeds United in January, and you can put that one to bed unless something dramatic happens in the next couple of weeks, which is deemed to be very, very unlikely. Moving on to some news around Leeds TV matches, and Leeds United Yorkshire Derby against Sheffield Wednesday will be broadcast on TV. Leeds game against Sheffield Wednesday will take place at 12 noon on the 19th of January and was due to be broadcast on Sky Sports. It will still be broadcast on Sky Sports, but as part of the EFL and Sky Sports deal, with some games being made free to air, Leeds and Sheffield Wednesday will also now broadcast on ITV and ITVX as well. This is part of the deal between the EFL and Sky, which allows some coverage of free-to-air games on Carabao Cup and selected EFL fixtures. So for those who don't have Sky, chance to watch Leeds on ITV and ITVX if you're in the UK. Moving on to some impressive stats that have come out now. Tanaka has continued his very, very impressive start to life at Leeds United, and he's clocked up some very, very impressive numbers. And now, thanks to data put out by LUFC data that was published yesterday, we get a look at some of the really big numbers he's putting on the board this season. So far this season out, Tanaka has made 308 final third passes, the most successful of any player in the league this season. He has also got 116 ball recoveries and 26 interceptions, which is the most of any player in the Leeds United squad during this campaign. It's a real shame that his first goal for Leeds was overshadowed by other incidents, but we're hoping now with seeing these numbers and seeing what he's done for Leeds, and with the re-emergence of Ethan Ampadu into midfield, we may get a chance to see how Tanaka move further forward, and Farken might trust him now a little bit more to get in around the edge of the box and hit some strikes, because the goal he got was an absolute wonder strike, so we want to see a lot more of that. Moving on to some goalkeeper links, and as discussed yesterday evening with James Marshman, and again with reports that came out yesterday, Leeds are said to be lining up goalkeeping options, but are not expected to make a move for any goalkeeper until at least the summer. However, that hasn't stopped some reports floating around, and it's hard to find out what the truth is right now, so it's, I suppose, important to cover both sides of the fence. There are some reports coming from Ficias Football in Spain who claim that Leeds United are in talks with River Plate to sign Jeremias Conan Ledesma from River Plate. The 31-year-old goalkeeper will be seen as an experienced player coming in, but does have a bit of a reputation as being a bit of a loose cannon as well. But according to the reports in Spain, Ficias claim that Leeds are ready to make an approach and sign the River Plate goalkeeper in January. The 31-year-old had previously played for Cadiz in Spain as well, and could be in favour of a move to Leeds United after losing his place in the first team for River Plate. It seems an unlikely move at this point. Again, just the logistics that would be involved in bringing an Argentinian goalkeeper into the UK. And we're likely to see Leeds stick with Carl Darlow at least for a bit. But it should be pointed out, as has been said, Daniel Farke didn't drop Bill and Meslier after the Sunderland mistake. And he may decide to double down on Meslier after Darlow gets his run out in the game against Harrogate Town. We'll have to see how that one goes. Reports about Caoimhín Kelleher coming to Leeds United again being played down. The goalkeeper has said again that he's not interested in the move to the Championship and he wants to move to a top-end Premier League side. So Ledesma will be seen as an experienced goalkeeper, but there would be elements of a risk of a keeper coming in. We saw it with Kiko Casillas coming in from Spain for the second half of Bielsa's first season, and that didn't work out particularly well in the end. So I don't think this is probably going to happen. I think we can probably pour some cold water on that one for now, but we'll see how Carl Darlow gets on against Harrogate at the weekend, and Leeds might have a decision to make after that. And moving on to Charlie Crew, and there were some reports this week that there may be interest in a loan move for Charlie Crew away from Leeds United this month. But according to the Yorkshire Evening Post, they state that Leeds United have said that they value Charlie Crew staying at Leeds more than moving away in January. Crew is in a similar situation to Lewis Bate before him, and I suppose Joe Gelhardt and Charlie Creswell, where the younger players have had to sit on the bench and watch football and be patient for their time with getting little to no game time or minutes on the field. Crew isn't playing for the Leeds United under-21s right now because he is part of the Leeds United first team squad, and his development is pretty much being ring-fenced around training matches with the first team and no actual senior game time. Crew has made 2 appearances off the bench for Leeds United this season and should be expected to feature more prominently in the game against Harrogate Town on Saturday, but it's not a guarantee and no one can prejudge what Farke will do with that midfield option. But there is said to be plenty of interest in a loan move for Crew in January, and it could benefit him going out and getting some senior minutes rather than sitting on the bench and just taking up a spot and not really playing. He's not an option off the bench. He hasn't been used, and if Leeds actually need a player to come on, he's only come off the bench when Leeds have been in very comfortable positions for minimal amount of minutes as well. So for me, these players sitting on the bench, these young players sitting on the bench and not playing on 21s and not getting loan minutes, their development is stunted right now, and they need, for me, these players are the ones that need to be going out on loan and playing some game time. So, but we'll see what happens there. And moving on to a report that came in at the start of December around Leeds' pursuit for a striker, and Leeds were reportedly being lined up with a move for talented Israeli striker Dor Turgeman in December. Now reports coming from Israel claim that Leeds United may be about to miss out on the player. In December, Sport 5 claimed that Leeds United had made a formal bid to bring the player in, and the Daily Mail also reported on this, but they took a step back from it and said that Leeds were weighing up a decision about making a move for the player at that time. Now Sport 1 in Israel have provided an update, and they claim that Maccabi Tel Aviv are confident of holding on to Turgeman at least until the summer and selling him then when they've got a replacement lined up. They say that they will listen to offers at in and around €7 million, so between 5.6 and 5.8 million pounds for the talented striker. There is also said to be growing interest in Spain in the attacker, with Turgeman's own preference said to be in a move to the Spanish top flight rather than a move to England's second tier. It doesn't rule out a move for Leeds completely in this situation, and if Leeds really want him, they could go after him, but it does now seem unlikely that Leeds will make a move for Dor Turgeman in this window, and it may be something they revisit in the summer should the player still be at Maccabi Tel Aviv. And then moving on to a player that's currently at Leeds that is gaining a bit of interest outside of the club. And earlier this month we heard rumours of a report that Tottenham Hotspur might be interested in a move for Leeds United vice-captain and centre-back Pascal Struijk. A reported bid of anything between 25 to 30 million is seen as the number that would make Leeds consider letting the player leave. But now reports in Holland claim that Feyenoord have a vested interest in the Dutch native. Feyenoord are said to be lining up replacements for current centre-back David Hanko, and Struijk being a Dutch native is said to be a leading factor in the decision to try and bring him in. Struijk has been a consistent player for Leeds this season and an important player for Leeds this season. We saw against Hull how much he was missing in the shape that Leeds have, and he has a contract at the club until 2027, so he won't be going anywhere anytime soon unless Leeds decide that they want that. But Feyenoord may have the funds in order to tempt Leeds if David Hanko does move to Juventus. A fee of around £30 million is being reported in that move, and that may give them the money to go and reinvest that money on Pascal Struijk should they decide they want him. But there is some noise around an exit. It's incredibly unlikely that Leeds would sell the player unless he wants to go himself, which again doesn't seem likely right now. So just a bit of noise at the moment. We'll see how Leeds handle this one over the length of the January window. And then moving very much into the rumour mill territory, and I wasn't going to cover this story because I don't think it's likely to happen or it's a real story, but I'll let you make up your own mind on this. I'll give you the detail that's come out. Give Me Sport, who are generally fairly credible when it comes to reports, they are claiming that Leeds have a serious interest in beating Ipswich Town to the signature of Middlesbrough striker Emmanuel Latte Lath. Give Me Sports sources claim that Ipswich, Leicester, West Ham and Leeds are all interested in the striker this January, and Leeds are said to be determined to beat them all to his signature. Daniel Farke refused to rule out a marquee signing this month when asked by Graham Smith, and Latte Lath at this level and the fee that would be needed would very much be considered as a marquee signing. But the report says that Middlesbrough may well be interested in cashing in on the player, despite the fact that it would get some negative feedback from their own fans. Letting Latte Lath move to a promotion rival would likely derail Borough's hopes of a playoff finish and a chance to get back into the Premier League, but a fee of around £15 million is being touted as the number that Borough would consider in letting the player move. One of the extracts from the report from Give Me Sport reads as follows. Give Me Sport sources have been informed by Leeds insiders that there is genuine interest within Elland Road to secure Latte Lath services, resulting in it being plausible that a bid will be made as they aim to leap to the front of the queue, while Ipswich, Leicester and West Ham continue keeping tabs on the situation. It should also be said that Ipswich and Leicester's league position in the Premier League right now, with one eye on a potential return to Championship, should be pointed out, as well as the restrictions that they will have within PSR and keeping within PSR this year and potentially even into next season. And West Ham spent very, very heavily in the summer and may not again be in a position to spend this window based on PSR. But Leeds brought in the most amount of money globally of any side in the summer window, and Daniel Farke has said there is funds to spend there should Leeds wish to do them. And PSR and FFP are not said to be an issue for Leeds United in this window right now. It will all depend on Leeds' desire to make a move or not, and we'll have to see if that happens. Everyone is expecting a quiet window. We've seen Sheffield United bring in Ben Burton Diaz, and they're also about to bring in Hamza Chowdhury, while Burnley have also brought in Ashley Barnes to give them extra backup in their striking position and fill the gap of cover that they need at right back as well. So all these teams are moving and getting the players that they need in, and Leeds appear on paper at least to be focused on a quiet window and focused on backing the current group of players, despite the squad being one of the smallest in the division. But we'll see how it goes. I still think Leeds will probably do one or two, but I think it'll be late in the window when that happens, and we'll have to wait and see what they do. It will be a mistake to sit on their hands and repeat what they have over the last couple of years when it comes to January. Do the work, get the money in, get the players in, and then let's get promoted and worry about anything else after the fact. Folks, that'll be it for me today. A massive thank you as always for supporting the channel. I'll be back tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.